military school won't be so bad.
I will play every day. You'll see. The year will go by fast.
But it really was the truck.
Is that David Goodrich? He was one of the designers, I think, on Black and Vigilant 8 and the Star Wars one, and then also Small Brawl. I think he was the lead designer in Small Brawl.
Who was the mysterious driver of the menacing truck Darkside, Mr. Ash? A demon? A Stygian creature from the fiery pits of the underworld? A shadowy figure with red glowing eyes? A 90s goth chick in a dime store mask? You would be correct, if this was a standard Twisted Metal. But this is Twisted Metal Small Brawl, a kid-friendly version of Twisted Metal designed to onboard the next generation of players into the Twisted Metal series. Sony felt the current player base was aging out of Twisted Metal and needed a new crop of souls to feed the franchise, and the new demographic was identified as the ages between 8 to 12-year-old kids, who would likely receive a PlayStation 1 as a hand-me-down from their older sibling who just got a PlayStation 2 and was probably playing Twisted Metal Black. Jimmy Ash was originally planned to be playable from the character selection screen, with an ending cinematic just like the other Small Brawl characters. But what happened? What events led up to Darkside's missing cinematic? Twisted Metal Small Brawl was off to a rough start with a smaller budget, shortened development cycle, Sony's decision to down-res from PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 1, and formation of the Incognito South studio team during development. All these factors and more led to a domino effect that ended up cutting Darkside as a main character along with his ending. The impact on his ending cinematics was also compounded when resources were used on Warthog's ending. Without his in-game vehicle being completed yet, we turned him into Warthopper as a last-ditch effort to save him and his cinematic from being cut from the game also. But that is best explained in another video. However, the biggest impact was when resources were used for Axel's ending instead of Darkside's. Ultimately, efforts were spent on the wrong character because Sony pulled Axel's ending late in development, forcing him to become a secret character despite appearing in the Small Brawl intro movie. Sony felt his ending was mean-spirited due to Axel having a disability in the game. Ironically, Sony provided the concept art of Axel in a wheelchair. I can't think of many scenarios where Calypso monkey-pawing a handy-capable kid's wish would go well. Darkside wasn't the only character with missing cinematics, and this led to confusion around the consistency of some characters having endings and some not. Being a stickler for consistency, I made the decision to change all characters who were missing cinematics to secret characters, even converting some into bosses after Minion was cut during development. So who is Darkside? And what does its mysterious driver look like in Small Brawl? This guy in the red mask? Yes. This is Darkside's driver, or it was for a few months. However, this was not the final concept art for its driver. Some of the character concepts didn't match my vision for the game. So during development, I requested revisions and even new iterations for the character concept art. For example, this was initially Spectre's character concept art. Spectre's art didn't feel like Spectre. This was a kids game, and I wanted a more kids stylistically inspired Halloween costume you would see on a show like Scooby-Doo or a Simpsons Treehouse of Terror episode. A Spectre, which is just a fancy name for a ghost, so a sheet with holes cut out for eyes felt like the right direction to fit the kid version of Spectre. So I had a new version of Spectre drawn up by the concept artist. With the old Spectre design freed up, and Small Brawl's limited resources, we had to reuse everything we had, even cut concept art when possible. Spectre's old concept art found a new home. His black leathers and tough guy looks felt more appropriate for the truck driving, horn-blaring menace that is Jimmy Ash. The leather-clad daddy, Dom look was also aligned with Dollface's fashion style from Black, and the OG Mr. Ash's color scheme from Twisted Metal 1. Old Spectre was perfect for Darkside. A quick switch and Darkside's character concept was now completed. Too bad we never saw him, or his ending in game. But we did get to see Darkside the truck. It was originally black, like all previous versions, but this was a kid's version. I needed to toy him up, so I added a sticker with a wolf howling at the moon, a vague reference to the dark side of the moon, which tied into an ending for him I had been planning. Despite the playful stickers on the truck, the initial tests of Darkside's black RC truck didn't fit tonally with the bright environments, and I recall it looked like a real truck next to the other toy cars during gameplay. There were many iterations of his truck design during the concepting phase before we landed on the version you are familiar with. For example, there was a classic truck body style, a short cab delivery truck version. That looks awful. What was I thinking? Fortunately, we landed on the look you know today, his Peterbilt-inspired model, with more toyish proportions. I had also planned on giving him a round antenna ball like Sweet Tooth's, a moon seen here instead of a flag. The spherical geometry for all the car antennas was quickly becoming too expensive for the PlayStation 1, and the flag was cheaper. We could use the same flag for all cars, and just change their color and code, an extremely efficient PlayStation 1 era method, when a few hundred extra polygons in the game could break it. And yes, a few hundred extra polys would crash a PlayStation 1 under the right circumstances. Darkside Special is considered one of the strongest in the game, a blue star-shaped flame, a fiery force shield, like a comet entering the Earth's atmosphere, with murderous intent. Big damage, partial shielding, and a turbo boost to close the gap with his target. What's not to like? Surprisingly, Darkside's Special was slightly weaker during development, because he couldn't break mid-special. The ability to break was added last minute due to his constant deaths from flying off Treetop Rumble, the Grinder, and Meet Your Maker, and other hazards. This allowed the unintended ability where Darkside could repeatedly hit the brakes and ram an enemy up to 4 times with his special, instead of just once. This exploit was found too late in development to fix before shipping the game. As if Darkside's Special wasn't powerful enough, there was an unfinished version that was cut. Darkside's Special was going to be capable of reflecting projectiles. He could fire weapons normally during the special. When hitting immovable objects like walls, he would bounce off them and automatically retarget and charge the nearest opponent. He could charge up this attack over several seconds, becoming a sitting duck, but increasing the special's damage and his top speed upon release. While this special sounds overpowered, there were plans to bring the other Small Brawl specials in line with the power of Darkside's. It was probably a good thing. This and the other mega specials got cut. I made it to 500 subs, and at the time of this video, it's now 800 on YouTube and 1,200 on Twitch. I really appreciate everyone who helped me reach this goal, and as a thank you, here is your reward. I consulted the definitive source of Small Brawl knowledge and found a few paragraphs I wrote describing the Darkside ending. I took this ending and fleshed it out into a full animatic, one we might have used if we had time to make his ending cinematic for Small Brawl. Oh, and that moon logo with the howling wolf, there was another alternate ending that tied into that. If this video does well, I might work on that version also. And without any further delay, here is Darkside's cut ending. Enjoy.
I won your tournament, Calypso. Now give me what's mine. I want to be the biggest bully in school.
You want to be the biggest bully in the school? Okay, you asked for it,
Wait, this isn't what I meant.
and now you're going to get it.
There he is, the guy who has been bullying me.
He's been bullying all of us. Let's get him.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Haha, I would hate to be me right now.
That's all I have for Darkside based on memory and my notes. I had fun making this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm happy to answer questions in the comments below when I can, and please like, subscribe, and share this video. If I can get to 1,000 subscriptions on YouTube, I will assume these videos are in demand, and will make the other cut character endings like Mimes, Trapper, and Piecemeals. These were the 3 new characters I created for the TwistedMetal universe. I had written rough outlines for their endings when designing TwistedMetal Small Brawl 22 years ago. These endings were particularly twisted in my opinion, so hopefully we reach the subscription goal so we can enjoy them. This pint-sized tough guy wants to be feared by the neighborhood kids, but his small stature gets him bullied just like the others. Jimmy Ash enters Calypso's tournament so he can get the respect he desires.